Good morning, everyone. Okay, before I start talking, first things first. Always first things first. It's a good thing to remember, first things first. What do you do when you wake up first in the morning? I do. Not always. Sometimes I get distracted. Yeah, right? Yes? Okay. But somehow, most days when I wake up, first thing is, thank you, Father. Got to another day. Moving forward. Right? Yes? Moving forward. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Moving forward with what? Blaming everybody else out there for it's not right in my life. Hankering after what was in 3 or 4 years ago and how it is now. Oh, moving forward means, it's just about time, right? To put out the tomatoes, which I've pulled from seed. Yeah. It's just about time to start the squash. Yeah, it's just about, right? Okay, the squash, the seeds one can put out now. If you got seeds around here, most other places as well, I would say, you can put them out because it takes them a while to come up, right? And by then, hopefully, the last frost will have passed, if there is still one coming. Don't know. Well, you got the weather forecast, isn't it? Yep. Don't know, because they don't know either. So I'm going by what? Feelings. Okay, I'll tell you. What a morning already. This is my 3rd day home alone. Oh, does it show? All right, not going to go there. I love the people that I am around, usually, this and that. So, but I can't ignore on how, all right, I'm not going to go there, right? Because I was a blessed child. Peace in mankind, care and love for every dependent child. Peace, every child feels secure, which reflects cause and effect in a child's life. I thought maybe when people listen to this, they're going, okay, what? Okay, peace in mankind. We're at peace. Truly at peace. Yeah, we can push all that to the back, subconscious, push it back. But anyone with a conscience, anyone with a heart for God, yes? Anyone with a heart of a parent, and you don't have to have your own children to have that within you, okay? Because it's something that's already there, right? When you do have a child, then you get to actualize it, but really it's already there, right? What do they say? It takes a village to raise a child. To have seen my children and aunts and uncles, some wonderful, some, I'm not going to go there. My grandchildren, all of them are around amazing aunts and uncles. Right? Yes? Oh, did you just notice something? Restoration happens. Things get better. Some things suddenly fall away. You don't have to worry anymore about. If you continue to be vigilant. Okay. Care and love for every dependent child. Not talking, we're all children of God, right? Not talking about children who are still looking up to us, the adults, taking care of them properly. How many children in this world aren't taken care of properly? Used as to trade. Okay, I'm not going to go there. Every child feels secure, which reflects cause and effect in a child's life. When children are secure, safe, then in their own life, the way to grow, right? Not just physically, but spiritually, right? The child then, the gifts given to the child, the talents the child has, can be freely explored, right, on the side of goodness. Why do I have to mention that every time? Because it's almost, I can almost, while I'm saying it, I can almost see the, don't go there. That's not the ideal. Now you're talking against the ideal, or you're thinking against the ideal. And the reason for that is what? So I'm always speaking from the ideal, from the side of goodness. Are there really children born who are naturally evil? I doubt that very, very much. Sometimes as children we carry an incredible burden on our shoulders because of our ancestors. Not so great stuff they did. Right? And as a child you already feel it. Yes? And that can come out in many different ways. I remember in my case it was migraines. 6 years old. Can't remember much. People say things like, I remember at 4 years old, I already noticed I was different than others, and going, huh, what? Come again? You're 4 years old. Right? I don't remember much. I see photos and I'm going, oh yeah, let me think. Oh yeah, there's a flash something of something, but really, otherwise, 6 years old. It's when I suddenly woke up, 6 years old, my migraines started. Yes? Interesting? Well, they disappeared too, right? I mentioned that before. So the cause and effect in a child's life that feels secure and is taken care of in the proper way, well, guess what? They have no choice but to grow into a fabulous human being. Oh, that's a bad thing? Okay. Peace. Every child eats. Adults decide that for one reason or another, they need to starve themselves, right? Yeah, well, some adults are held prisoners and they're being starved, and there's other ways to starve a population. Good job, leadership there, wherever you are at. Wow, that's a big fail. Okay. Well, I'm not the leader. I didn't choose to become a leader out there. Someone did. And you should take care of your people. All right. In hard times. It's not like you're alone in the world. That's the only nation. You got nations around you that what did I talk about yesterday in Numbers 22? How were the nations? What was more important to all the nations rather than? Is it different today? Okay, all right. Every child should eat. Children don't voluntarily starve. They're still growing. Physically, it's important that they eat properly, too. Yes, you starve your children. Sometimes children have plenty to eat. They don't look like they're starving, yet they are. Because as parents, what people forgot how to feed their children properly. I'll tell you what, my children didn't like zucchini. They want to eat zucchini. Yeah, zucchini's I love zucchini. I love zucchini in anything, right? Now, as an adult, interestingly enough, my granddaughter came and she said, do you know, Grozy, the reason why children don't like certain things, to eat, but adults do is because when it comes to the taste buds, she's 10. She's telling me that. I didn't know. Children have over 30,000 taste buds. Really? Well, how about adults? Here I'm thinking, well, it's got to be hundred thousands or something. No, adults have about 5,000. Oh. Well, that stumped me. She said, Rosie, that's why certain things we just don't like until we grow up. I'm going, oh, well, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? But, so, interestingly enough, that very little comfort food out there, and sweets and chips and cookies and I don't know what else, right? That seems to Kids really like all that, right? Yes, there's a reason for that as well. Yep. If you've never tasted breast milk is actually on the sweet side. Okay. Anywho, every child should have enough to eat. Good food to eat. It doesn't have to be super expensive food either or anything. But they need at least 3 meals a day. Small meals is fine, but they need to eat. There are children in this country who don't get enough to eat. And you know why? Because they're not the ones that go to the store. They're not the ones who have the money. Yeah? So even in a country like this where you're going, my God, how much gets thrown out in the dumpsters to snack? Still good food. We talked about that. And children are still hungry in this country. Yes? Oh, so, of course, let the government take care of it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about now in this case, I'm not talking about that someone else has to take care of our children. We should be doing that. That's our job. In a country like this, that's our job. As parents, as extended family, that's our job. Okay? Yes? See, again, see the difference? Peace. Every child is warmed in cold times. To think that a child say in the wintertime doesn't have enough clothing or a bed to sleep in with a warm blanket and a pillow, it is seriously disturbing. I'm not going to go there because I'm not the judge. Peace. Understanding a child's growth in troubling times. Then to guide the child to attain harmony with peace. When we spiritually grow, physically we just grow. Oh, looks like the horses are coming back, finally. Wait a minute, that's not one of the horses. That's the pigs. It's the pigs coming back. Where were they? When children enter teenhood, okay, and sometimes even, some children are just, interestingly enough, when it comes to their intelligence and their way of processing things from the heart to mind is sometimes advanced, but most, when they enter being a teenager, they start being troubled. Oh, wait. We like to say they start to be trouble, right? No, I say they start to be troubled. And it's very important to be ready for that. Because now you have older children who are getting grown out of early childhood, this and that, and now they're considered young adults, and they're growing into adulthood. And when they do that, they become what again in adulthood? Children. Yes? It's a difficult time sometimes for the parents and the children, yes? But the guidance during that time is very, very important, yes. Anyway, what I've seen more often than not, though, it's, well, they're old enough now. They can decide, I've kind of done my job, this, that, No. That's the time you really, now up until then, a lot of time went into their physical growth, this and that. Of course, love them, hug them, take care of them, this and that, read stories, do things with them. That makes everyone happy. But when they start to enter teenagehood, 12, 13, you got to pay attention to their spiritual growth. That's what you got to do. That's the difference. Yes? Yeah. Then once they enter adulthood and again become babies in adulthood, they have a balanced physical state and spiritual state. Well, guess what? Of course they're going to do better. They're going to survive. Right? Yes? And they will know how to attain that harmony with peace. Yes? Okay. I am peace as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a daughter of God. Does that need explanation? Of course, I, having made it, should be the best example out there for a child. Yes? To become the best I can be for every child. Every child. What if I'm not just responsible, according to Spirit World, for just the 4 that I had? Yet, number 1, every child that comes my way. Number 2, every child I don't know out there. What if we're all going to go to Spirit World? And the first question will be, rather than, oh, look at your own life, this and that, I don't know, this is such a selfish way again, right? See, that my whole life flashed in front of my eyes. I get it. Yeah, again, that's a subconscious kind of thing again. Your desire per se. You don't want to see anybody else's life, right? What if the first question would be, have you done everything possible you could for every child to grow up in peace? Whoa. There isn't a human being on this earth. There isn't a human being on this earth now, or one in the past, and no doubt for a long time in the future that could say, oh yes. Everyone would have to say, absolutely not. True? Okay. Repentance, knowing every child is deserving of peace. That's where it starts. Awareness. Awareness, then we try to teach, we try to reach, right? Yes, and you have to make it past the ones that will use you when it comes to that as well. Yes? Okay, just saying. Prayer, knowing every child comes first. Restored. Conditions are fulfilled when every child is loved and cared for. Again, prayer conditions, any kind of other conditions people do, holidays, right? Whatever you're beholden to when it comes to your faith and belief, it's a timed thing often. Should be enough. When it comes to children, it's never enough. Not if one is still suffering out there. Huh? Dude, okay. Don't think you're restoring anything if there's still a child suffering out there. Just saying, right? I mean, that should be clear. Yes? Okay. Conditions, okay, no. Death separates us from our earthly path to attain peace. Our taught descendants are the future, the change of lineage, God's lineage in action. We're still at the beginning of the completed Testament age. And undoubtedly, I am not going to last here 1,000 years. To continue to try to teach, to continue to help build foundation, physically and spiritually, for every child to be taken care of, for every child to have a home, for no child to ever be abandoned or getting rid of. Yes? Okay. But if I teach my descendants, as I try to help my ancestors now, I teach my descendants. And hopefully they will continue my state of mind, heart to mind. Yes? I saw one where, well, will your conscience tell you right from wrong? Interesting question. I can't speak for anyone else out there. I do know that I'm not always sure when my conscience, my heart to mind is engaged, okay? If I'm doing the right thing, exactly the right way. What I do know 100% is when I've done something wrong. That's being honest to yourself right there. Saying, well, does a conscience really know? Well, that's okay. Right there. You found an excuse, huh? You can have a conscience, still don't know what's right and wrong? Okay. Good luck with that. Start digging that pit. Yep. That can get really deep sometimes. And then we start to see more of God's people, right? Yes? The change of lineage. And then there's more action out there. The more we become a part of God's people. This people. Yeah? Yes? Good one, right? Okay. Then the true cause and effect in a child's harmonious and happy life. That will become the true cause. Teaching children. And then the effect is that the child continues in a harmonious and happy way their life. Right? Yes? Man, if that happens in your family, once you pass away, gosh, that's a good plus. Yes. Okay. Working on that. I am an adult, and I am an adult, ashamed to ask for anything from my heavenly parents for myself. If a child on earth needs my prayers and conditions greater than I. That should be pretty clear. Or does your conscience here have a problem on figuring out what it says here? Peace will happen when peace can be found in every child. I will be less than any child that suffers due to mankind's unkindness. That's another good one to ask. Why do children suffer out there? It's a collective sin, people. If we're a part of it or not, it's a collective sin. Because too often we turn our heads. Too often we are hiding things for the better of other adults. And disregarding the child. Spirit world will hold us all accountable, regardless. Doesn't matter who you are. It's a collective sin. You go to spirit world, they will ask you about that. Hope you have a good answer. They might just go for it. Remember that. Okay. Oh, well, don't I have a way, huh? I apply anything, this, that. I tell other people, to myself as well. Okay? We're all in this together. As I said, it's a collective sin. We're all in this together. Okay. All right, we're in Numbers 23. Gosh, I already said so much beforehand. I felt like I needed to explain that a little bit. Maybe people needed it, this, that. Okay. All right, so here now, remember, there was something else that came to my mind yesterday. I'll listen to one more time. Well, it's not really important, but on how the whole thing started with, right? No, we don't want you first. Hey, can we go through your territory? No, you can't. Then there was some skedaddle somewhere, and it does sound like the Israelites were pushing in first. Then there were some Israelites taken hostage, but they realized that there's too many of them. The Israelites got upset, and then okay, well, we're going to get ready now. Then Balaam came into, okay. Balaam said to Balak, build me 7 altars here and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams. Balak did as Balaam said and offered a burnt offering of 1 bull and 1 ram on each altar. Balaam then said to Balak, stand beside your burnt offerings while I go away. Perhaps Yahweh will come and meet me. If he does, I shall tell you whatever he reveals to me. And he withdrew to a bare hill. Oh, interesting. So all these offerings were made. Hopefully it would be a smell pleasing to Yahweh, so he would meet Balaam. Okay, well, let's find out. Oh, here we go. Balaam's prophecies. God came to meet Balaam, who said to him, I have prepared the 7 altars. Okay, Balaam said to God, I have prepared the 7 altars and offered a burnt offering of 1 bull and 1 ram on each altar. Yahweh then put a prophecy into his mouth and said to him, go back to Balak, and that is what you must say to him. So Balaam went back to him and found him still standing beside his burnt offering, with all the chiefs of Moab. He then declaimed his poem as follows. Declaimed. Interesting word to use here. Balak has brought me from Aram, the king of Moab, from the hills of Kedem. Come and curse Jacob for me. Come and denounce Israel. How will I curse someone whom God has not cursed? How denounce someone God has not denounced? Yes, from the top of the crags I see him. From the hills I descry him. A people that dwells on its own, not to be reckoned among other nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob? Who can number the cloud of Israel? May I die the death of the just, and may my future be like theirs. Oh, well, that's pretty darn clear here. Balak said to Balaam, what have you done to me? I brought you to curse my enemies, and you have heaped blessings on them. Balaam replied, am I to depart from what Yahweh puts into my mouth? Balak then said, please come somewhere else. From here you can see only the fringe of them. You cannot see them all. Curse them for me over there. He led him to the lookout's field on the top of Pisgah. There he built 7 altars and offered a burnt offering of 1 bull and 1 ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, stand there beside your burnt offerings while I wait over there. God came to meet Balaam, so they did it again. He put a prophecy into his mouth and said to him, go back to Balak, and that is what you must say to him. So Balaam went to him and found him still standing beside his burnt offering, and all the chiefs of Moab with him. What did Yahweh say? Balak said to him. Interesting, Balak didn't make any effort to meet God himself. Balaam then declaimed his poem as follows. Stand up, Balak, and listen. Give ear to me, son of Zippor. God is no human being that he should lie, no child of Adam to change his mind. Is it his to say and not to do? Is it his to speak and not fulfill? The charge laid on me is to bless. I shall bless, and I cannot reverse it. I have perceived no guilt in Jacob. I have seen no perversity in Israel. Yahweh his God is with him. Oh. Now is this from the way that God gave Balaam this prophecy, whatever, the poem? Yahweh his God is with him. Talking about himself, I guess. And a royal acclamation to greet him. God has brought him out of Egypt. It's like the wild ox's horns to him. There is no omen whatever against Jacob. Aha! Oh, he's teaching him, right? Are you guys getting this? No augury at all against Israel. Well may people say of Jacob, of Israel, what has God achieved? For here is a people like a lioness rising, poisoned like a lion to spring, nor will he lie down, till he has devoured his prey and drunk the blood of his slain. Balak said to Balaam, Very well, do not curse them, but at least do not bless them. Balaam retorted to Balak, Did I not tell you? Whatever Yahweh says, I must do. Balak then said to Balaam, Come with me now, and I shall take you somewhere else. From there, perhaps it will please God to curse them for me. Unbelievable. So Balak led Balaam to the summit of Peor, overlooking the wastelands. Balaam then said to Balak, Build me 7 altars here, and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams. Balak did as Balaam said, and offered a burnt offering of 1 bull and 1 ram on each altar. That's the end of 23. Interesting. How did that start? When you go to spirit world. Be prepared, right? Oh, I'm having a hot flash. I got to get out of my big heavy coat here. No fire today. It's going to be warm again. Oh. Balak really wants it his way, right? Yes? And, okay, so what I'm reading as well is on how constant God is. God knows perfectly well that there are some problems within his people, this people of Israel, right? But that does not deter him. He's made a decision, right? Yes? And what I can hear out of the whole thing here on 23 now too is God's kind of trying to give, through Balaam, trying to give Balak a message here. They're not people that are going to destroy you if you work with them. Work with me as them being my chosen people at this time. Well, he never said that Balak and his people weren't, right? But the safety of Israel needed to be ensured. The only way to do that was what? To make it clear to Balak, no, I'm not going to change my mind. And if you follow my guidance, guess what? Again, Balak now should, okay, he's got Balaam here. He's already, how many bulls and lambs? Okay. Another interesting thing is God says, I'm not here to curse anyone. I'm here to bless everyone. Did you guys get that? Remember that the next time you want God to do something that God can't do for you, like curse someone, abandon someone, oh, or give you permission to do what? Okay, well, interesting one, very interesting. I saw one again where I can give you all the spiritual experiences, right? The absolute 100% knowledge of God's existence, spirit world's existence, right? Spirit's existence, right? Lived in spirit world, on earth, now in spirit world. All your loved ones are there. All your hated ones are there too. And yet, still, you'd question everything, just like Balak, because you're not putting any work into it yourself. None. And when? It is for what reason? A, embracing. Let's go have that talk now with... See what we can do. Not going to win here, right? Yes? Let's make this a peaceful transition here. Transaction. With all those people. And no doubt, Balak's people would receive the blessings just as Moses' people. Interesting that Jacob was mentioned in there. Well, we all know why. Anywho, so what I found is working with spirit world, having all my experiences, this and that, it was never pat myself, okay? Never. That'd be nice too. Every once in a while. Oh, hey, wait a minute. You see? Blessings in the skies. You never know. If you follow God's instructions, what He needs done, this and that, through you, where the blessings then come from. But what I found is that people often don't. Nope. I said, just like Balak. No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to make this offering again, this and that, and then I'm going to get it. I'm going to have it my way, right? And because people want it their way, you miss out on meeting God. You will sense someone else, and your doubts will always be there. Does God exist? Spirit world, afterlife exist? Am I actually spiritually here as well? Yes? Anyway. Done. No one can do that for you. I share. But as far as that's why you're here listening, because, oh, maybe she'll share something again from spirit world or this or that. That's kind of interesting. Then you're in the wrong channel, right? Yes? No. Well, how many watch? Never underestimate where this all could still be going. I'm good the way it is. I like as peaceful as I make these videos. This and that, I like it to stay that way. Once I'm passed away, maybe. But I don't want the big old. Right? Yes? Okay. There you go. Mainly, I'd like to encourage people to start reading the Bible, beginning to end. Then the divine principle. Yes. Then start working out there. Ask God for guidance. Yes. Ask God for guidance. where you're needed. Huh? Yes. Okay. Well, there we go. That's Numbers 23. It's a beautiful day out there. The horses are back. I got to get out there and put them up for a little while. And then I'm going to let them back out. And they'll be going again all night. That's just what they're doing right now. I'm just going with them. It's all good. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you another time.